What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while since I posted any videos. I've just been super busy. Work's been crazy, family life, been trying to hunt and fish as much as I can. But anyway, today's a nasty rainy day. Kind of bummed my ankle up yesterday, so I'm at the house anyway. I figured, what the heck, I might do a couple review videos on some stuff that I've been thinking about. And the first thing I want to do is talk about this Muddy Hunter 12 game camera from Academy Sports. So this camera costs around $30. And I really like these cheap cameras. And the reason being is I hunt a lot of public land where I'm leaving my cameras out for months on end, and I'm always worried about them growing legs and walking off, you know what I mean? As a side note, if you're hunting and you see somebody's camera, leave it be. Don't steal it. Anyway, sorry. I've used the Tasco cameras from Walmart for a long time. They do a pretty good job for the price point, but I'm always looking for cameras that come in around that same price point as Tasco's to do some comparison with. So I picked up one of these from Academy back before deer season, and I was so impressed with it that since then I've purchased 3 more. So I have a total of 4. And they've been pretty good for the most part. So I'll kind of start by going over some specs from the website and giving you maybe my thoughts on each piece. So this camera, it's 12 megapixels, and you're able to select the level of image quality. If I'm not mistaken, you can select 8, 10, or 12 megapixels. I always leave my camera on the highest image quality. I use pretty large SD cards. I'm not worried about file size. If you have small SD cards and you're worried about file size, maybe you would lower that image resolution down to say 8 megapixel. It does record time, date, moon phase on each of the photos. And it's advertised to have a 0.7 second trigger speed, which is pretty quick. I don't know if it's always that good, but it's pretty impressive what they advertise. And it also records video in 720p. I haven't really tested much on video for these cameras. I pretty much always leave my cameras on photo mode. And with photo mode, I always use burst. I have a 3 image burst. The reason that I do that is because a lot of times if a deer runs through, that first image might not be what you need. I like the second and third images in quick succession. Usually you can get a better idea of what a deer is. And a lot of times with bucks, you'll have a small buck run by and there'll be a big buck right behind him or passing through with him. And if you only are taking 1 image at a time, you might miss that big buck. It's also advertised to have a 60-foot range for capturing images. That's probably pretty accurate. I have some images that I feel like the camera has picked up deer that are out, 25, 30 yards. That'd be further than the 60-foot advertised capture range. On Amazon, it says that it takes 6 AA batteries. I don't know if newer cameras have changed, but the ones that I have take 8, just so you're aware of that. And one thing I do like about this camera is the Python lock actually goes through the latch. So unlike with Tasco's, who when you have a Python lock attached to the camera, you can still open and take the SD card out. I've actually had several SD cards disappear when my camera was Python locked to a tree. With this camera, you shut the latch and then your Python lock runs through that, so you're not able to open the camera when it's attached to a tree. I really like that feature. Let's see here. Another thing to note is Muddy camera. This camera is manufactured by GSM Outdoors. That's the exact same company, organization, whatever, that makes the StealthCam cameras, plus a ton of other outdoor products. So by all intents and purposes, I think this camera is probably made by StealthCam, which is a pretty well-known trail camera company. So another reason I really like this camera, if you're thinking about the price point and what I traditionally use, like the Tasco, is the image resolution. So Tasco cameras you get from Walmart are 8 megapixels, whereas this one is 12 for essentially the same price. So the image quality is much better. I haven't had any sort of failures with these cameras, and the batteries seem to last a long time. That's a problem I ran into with the Tascos. Sometimes I feel like certain cameras almost drain the batteries. These cameras have really surprised me. I've been able to get thousands of photos on one set of batteries over several month period, and the battery indicator on the camera still says that it's full when I check them. After a couple months and that many photos, I usually go ahead and change them out, because when I'm leaving these cameras for such long periods of time, I might not go check them for a month or two. So I want to make sure my batteries are good while I'm there in the field. So let's talk about some of the bad. With one of my cameras that was kind of more exposed, it was on like a tree out in the middle of a clear cut, so there wasn't a lot of buffer around it. When I went and checked it and I opened my door, there was lots of moisture on the inside of the camera. I dried it out. The camera still functions properly. It never quit functioning, but that is kind of concerning. If it's getting moisture in the camera, how long is it going to be able to last? But like I said, that camera's still working, so maybe it's not a big deal. And maybe you can't expect a whole lot more than that for a $30 camera. Another thing to point out that I see as kind of a slightly negative is the battery tray. So it's on the very bottom. You release this latch and it opens, and the batteries just slide in. And you see that. That is frustrating to me because you have to almost tip the camera upside down in order to install the batteries, which just slide in. It's really not that big of a deal, but I cannot change batteries in this camera with it strapped to the tree. As soon as I open that compartment, they all fall out. So if I'm in the field and this camera is on a tree and I want to change batteries, I have to take the strap off. I have to flip the camera up, put the batteries in, put it back on the tree, re-aim it, and then proceed. Speaking of the strap, this is a very long strap. It should go around pretty much any tree in any of the areas that I hunt. It has seems like a decent buckle. I do kind of struggle getting it really tight, but that's okay. That's pretty much the camera in a nutshell. Here in a second, I'll put some videos up, or some images up on the screen so you can see the quality and kind of go over some thoughts on the images that come out of this camera. But I do think it's a very good budget camera, especially for a public land hunter that's worried about things walking off and disappearing.
Okay, so in this photo, you can see this is a pretty nice deer. It's a pretty good quality image. Same for this one. You can tell that the deer is a little bit further from the camera. I had no problem with it. This deer is a little bit closer. Still good quality image. There's another. Same story here. This deer is one of the furthest from the camera that I've got an image of. This deer is all probably close to 30 yards. And here's a daylight image, just so you can see some comparison.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap this video up. I hope you liked the review on the Muddy Hunter 12 game camera, available from Academy Sports and Outdoors for around $30. If you did like the video, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button below. Leave any comments for tips and suggestions going forward. I am a self-proclaimed gear nut. I have tons of gear laying around, and I really enjoy doing these product review videos. So if you'd like to see more, then just hit that subscribe button and let me know. All right, thanks. Y'all have a good day.